The Magi seem to have honored the King of the Jews in a way that fit their nationality. Welcome to our first IWS Chapel. We've started off pretty much with a bang here. January 2022. Welcome to all of you who are here with us and those who are virtual online with us. We join together in worship of the light of the world. So today we celebrate the Feast of the Epiphany, the coming of the Magi to worship the Christ child and the light of the world made known to the nations. A story filled with mystery and deep meaning. And those of you, hopefully all of you, who were here last night to hear Pastor B.J. Hutto from Hendricks Avenue Baptist Church, he shared about the Magi, the coming of the Magi. Actually, he stole a lot of my application for this feast day message, but I'm choosing to look at it not as stealing, but as setting up a little segue into my homily for today. I did go home last night and change a bed here. But we've just come out of Christmastide, and I know that you guys are probably just all dying to share what it was you got for Christmas. So with one word, I want you to turn to the person next to you or behind you, and with one word, quickly, just tell them your favorite gift that you got for Christmas, okay? And you online too. Okay, ready, set, go. One word. Type it in the chat if you want. Okay, now you got that out of your system. Okay, you can elaborate later. And then one word, it was one word. Okay. So I'm sure maybe some of you received gold for a Christmas gift. Maybe jewelry, a necklace, earrings, maybe a ring. And some of you may have received perfume or cologne, but I'm sure none of you received embalming fluid. Or did you? What were those Magi thinking? What kind of gift giving was that? Today, our topic is gift giving, like the Magi. So what were they thinking? We know that gold is a precious metal. And interestingly, frankincense, the incense, is a costly and fragrant mixture of gum and oil from a tree in India and in Arabia. And then myrrh, while still an odd gift for a child, is actually an expensive aromatic spice from a thorn bush grown in Arabia and Ethiopia. It's been suggested that these gifts were diplomatic representations of each of the Magi's cultures. Based on where they were each from, they honored the king in a way that fit their nationality, that fit them. So we can imagine these gifts as similar to offerings of foreign dignitaries, such as diplomats from another country who bring gifts representing their cultures. These Magi brought products specific to theirs. Now, while I'm surely not a foreign dignitary, I do travel a lot, and I try to bring gifts from my home culture when I go to be with people. So now I'm from Indiana, and we have the Gummy Bear Factory in Indiana. I have many to share. We also have the Vera Bradley Factory, and we're known for corn and the Colts football team and the Pacers basketball team. So I try to bring things that represent my culture as gifts to people who I'm going to meet. The Magi seem to have honored the King of the Jews in a way that fit their nationality, that fit their culture. In this way, in fact, they stood as representatives of all the non-Jewish nations. Their acknowledgement foretold the offer of grace to all peoples of the earth, and their gifts hinted at the coming of Gentiles to offer themselves to Christ. Above the cacophony of life, we heard this good news proclaimed in our Acts reading this morning, that God has made a way for all to seek and find their Creator, Jews and Gentiles alike. This Acts passage that was so well presented today also made it clear that God does not need anything that we have to offer. Acts 17, 24 and 25. The God who made the world and everything in it is the Lord of heaven and earth, and does not live in temples built by human hands. and he is not served by human hands as if he needed anything. Rather, God and God alone gives life, everyone life and breath and everything else. Certainly, the gifts of the Magi were expensive. They demonstrated the level of sacrificial love and worship they had for this newborn king. This was not a gesture of altruism, but of adoration. The Christ child did not actually need those gifts, though I'm sure they helped the family in times of need. But we know these gifts have deeper meanings, which Pastor BJ hinted at, some of those last night. But the mystery of the gifts is actually not the point. The point is that the Magi were not purchasing anything with their gifts. They were praising and worshiping. St. Gregory the Great, in his sermon 36:1, tells us that the gifts of the Magi are still brought to Christ every day. Whoever worships Christ brings the same priceless gifts that the Magi brought. St. Gregory says, if we want to consider carefully how their triple gift is offered by all who come to Christ on feet of faith, isn't the same offering repeated in the hearts of true believers? Whoever acknowledges Christ as King of the universe brings gold from the treasure of his heart. Whoever believes that the only begotten Son of God united true human nature to himself offers myrrh. Whoever confesses that Christ is not at all inferior to his Father's majesty worships him, so to speak, with incense. Gift giving, like the Magi, seems like a good model for us. As we worship Christ, we bring those same priceless gifts that the Magi brought. You're beginning your week of IWS worship studies, a week with numerous opportunities to bring your gifts of worship to God. How are your gifts representative of your culture, your personality, your creativity? How do each of us honor and worship the King with the gifts and talents that we bring? God doesn't need our gifts, but desires us to use and offer back to God what has been entrusted to us. Maybe your gift seems odd, like embalming fluid, but is what God has prompted you to give in worship of the King. Do you have the courage and the perseverance, like the Magi, to follow that leading and offer your gift to Christ, who is altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful? What gifts will you offer your classmates and your professors this week? I encourage you to offer your real self, to bring all that you are, your culture, your talents, your weaknesses and your strengths, your highs and your lows, your tiredness, your joyfulness, your fears and stress and your hopes and your dreams. They are all the gifts of being real, of being you, which is the best gift, the most priceless gift you can offer to Christ and to each other. Please stand as we prepare our hearts for prayer.